Today's episode, I know, is going to ruffle some feathers, but this is a conversation that is long overdue, and this is an issue that we must address. It's unavoidable. So, as I go through the episode, you will know what I'm talking about. So, here it is. There's a woman right now in your church, in your congregation, and this woman right now is not okay. She's not well. She's not doing okay. This woman is there every single Sundays. This woman sings in the choir. This woman gives her tithe. This woman participates and volunteers in every church activities. She smiles at the right moment. She says the right things, and nobody, not her pastor, not her prayer partner, not her closest friend in the congregation, knows what she goes home to. She has not told anyone, not because she doesn't need help, but because she doesn't know if the church is safe enough to receive it. And that gap between what she needs and what she believes the church can offer her is the gap I want to speak on today, is the gap I want us to discuss in this conversation. Because I believe the Black church, the African church, was built to close this gap. And I also believe that this is our moment to do exactly that. So, pull up a chair, grab a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, whatever your preference, and welcome to Conversation with Lady Chapeau. Many of you know I'm an advocate, I'm a minister of the gospel, and I'm a woman who believes that the African church is one of the most powerful institutions on earth. So today, we're going to talk about abuse. We're going to talk about domestic violence. Not as a crisis, not as a crisis that defines us, but as a call that is waiting for us. A call to be everything we already know to be for women out there all over the world who are counting on us to show up for them. This conversation is for the church on the continent. This conversation is for every African diaspora carrying the torch, carries the torch in London, carries the torch in Toronto, in Houston, in Paris, in Sydney. Because we are one as a church, and this is our moment. So let me give you a full picture here. Let me give you some numbers that you can sit with and think on. Because we cannot rise to meet something that we have not fully faced. Across the sub-Saharan Africa, more than 38% of women have experienced some form of abuse, domestic violence. In Central Africa, that number climbs to nearly 46%. In Sierra Leone alone, this number has reached 60%. In part of the sub-Saharan Africa, more than half of all women have some shape or form already reported experiencing some part of abuse, some kind of abuse in the past 12 months alone. And this number, it is said to triple by year 2060. This is not a statistic about strangers. This is a projection about the daughters, the mothers, the sisters sitting in our congregations right now. And about the women that I spoke about in the introduction, who is not okay. Multiply that across every congregation on the continent and in every city where the African church has planted its flags. The church has already been the place our community turned to in times of crisis. And this crisis is no different, except that it is an invisible crisis. And we have not always been equipped to sustain this crisis, to address this crisis, because abuse, domestic violence, is not only physical. And until the African church, until our congregation, until our church understand its full shape, its full scope, we will keep missing the woman who needs us the most. And the reason why I wanted us to talk about this conversation is that for the past few weeks, I've been seeing on TV, social media, women who have tragically died in the hands of abuse, domestic abuse. And these women have left children behind. But I don't believe that these women have been able to be open about what they're going through. Many of them don't. And many of them belong in our churches, in our congregations. Church, how do we address these women? How do we show up for these women? How do we show them that the church is a safe environment for them to come and they will not be judged? And we will not send them back to the abusers because it makes the church look good. It makes the image of the church looks good. When have we failed these women? Because many a time we have failed these women. And many a time they don't come out and say it. They don't come out and tell us what they're going through because they know they're going to be shun away. And this needs to stop. Abuse looks different. It's not always that you see the bruises. Abuse can be physical. It can be emotional, psychological abuse, spiritual abuse, financial abuse, sexual abuse, digital abuse, coercive control abuse. It's not every time that you can notice the bruises, the blues on the body. Now, here's what I need us to understand. And I need us to receive. This is not a flattery, but as a genuine assessment of our assets. The African church, the black church, has everything it needs to lead on this issue. We have everything. We have trust in our African communities on the continent and in the diaspora. The church is the institution that people turn to before they turn to the government, before they turn to anyone else, before they turn to social services, before they call the hotline. They come to us first. They come to the pastor first. They come to the spiritual leader first. And the trust that our members, that our community place in us is not incidental. It is sacred. And it positions us to reach women that no other institution can reach. We have communal infrastructures, women's fellowship, prayer groups, cell groups, home visits, pastoral care networks that run deeper and wider than any social service system can replicate. We already have the architecture to follow these women, to accompany these women. We just need to activate it with intention. And a secret weapon that we have also, we have theological authority. When the African church speaks, people listen. When a pastor names something from the pulpit, it shapes what the congregation believes is true, what is acceptable, and what is not acceptable. That authority, directed toward the dignity and safety of women, is transformative. It reframes what the community believes about abuse, not as a private matter, but as a community responsibility. As we have the word itself, it is said in Micah 6:8, the Bible says, do justice, active, concrete. Isaiah 61 says, freedom from the captives, proclaimed as Jesus' own mission. Proverb 31, a woman of Shail, strength and valor. The same word describes and is also used for warriors. So the biblical foundation is protecting and honoring women, and it is not borrowed from Western frameworks. It is woven into our very fabric of our scriptures. It has always been ours, and we are not starting from scratch. We are already stepping into something we are already built to do. So what does it look like when the African church rises to this moment? It looks like trained leaders, every pastors, elders, deacon, and women's ministry coordinator, equipped to recognize every form of abuse, manipulation, whether spiritual, whether physical, abuse, and responds in a way that prioritizes safety. This is an investment of time, not money. And its return is immeasurable. It looks like visible partnership. Know where we can go to get the necessary training for our church. There are organizations who are ready to come in and train our leaders, our pastors, our elders, to train them how to recognize the signs of abuse. And that is how we take part in solving the issue. I'm not going to make this video too long, but you know what I mean. So I want to come back to the woman I opened with. The story I mentioned in the introductory. The one who's in your church, in your congregation, who sings, who gives tithes, who smiles, who puts on a smile. She wears her makeup, but she carries something that nobody knows about. This woman, she's not waiting for the government program. She's not waiting for a social media campaign, but she's waiting to find out whether her church, her congregation can do something. That this church she has practically lived in her whole life, been raised in, is it safe enough to hold her, to hold what she's carrying her, walk her through it? The answer we give this woman when she comes to us is not just a pastoral decision. It is a theological statement about who will believe Jesus Christ is and who will believe she is. In closing, if this conversation stirred something in you, take it back to your church. Share it with your pastor, your women's ministry leader, your leadership leader. Start the conversation. Open the door. This is too important to start in your headphones. This is too important to stay in your headphones. Get the balls rolling, because I will. Leave a comment below. I want to hear from ministry leaders, from women who found safety in their church community. For those who are still waiting, your voice shapes this conversation. Speak up. Tell a friend. Tell someone. Don't die alone. There are people counting on you. There are destiny attached to your destiny. So you are not alone. And as a church leader, one of the church leaders, we will do something about it. We will rise to the occasion because the time is now. Thank you. This has been Conversation with Lady Chapeau. See you next time. Until then, lead with courage, love with action, and let the Black church, the African church, be what it was called, that it has always been. Thank you. Bye-bye.